All right, guys, you should have already finished the first two assignments. The first one is going to be the Bloom's taxonomy, and yes, I'm going to keep repeating myself on that. And you should have already finished the annotation of the little excerpt on naturalism. All right. So this next one is on about annotating, and I may have already read this to you. If I have, please forgive the repetitiveness. It doesn't hurt to hear it again. If you have not, pay attention. Annotating is essential for close and critical reading of texts in preparation for writing assignments, analysis, research, and tests or exam responses. Because I've provided you with your text materials, I expect to see annotation throughout the materials for ideas of development. Establishing a structured method of annotating will assist you in college and the business world and situations where close reading contributes to success. Furthermore, annotation helps you dissect difficult texts and discern meaning from them. Many students have practiced a rather free form of annotation and highlighting, making their text look pretty, but with little utility when it comes to understanding meaning. We tend to get lost in the words and forget why we marked something. Here are some common methods of annotating. Circle phrases you find to the point. Represent repetitive themes or images, motifs, or reveal figurative language. Circle words you need to define in the margins. Underline sentences that stand out and develop an argument or make a point. Number related points. Bracket important sections of text. Connect important ideas, words, or phrases with arrows. In the margins, you're going to define the unfamiliar terms or words that you circled, number each paragraph, and summarize each section. This is actually going to be your first assignment with this whole annotation and getting into the actual reading, okay? Note any significant patterns or motifs. Identify any outstanding language, usage, or writing strategies. Identify points or arguments. Don't simply mark a passage without stating why in the margins unless it is obvious. Never rely on your memory because when referring back to your marks, you may not recall the content. It's supposed to be content in which you first encountered the marked passage, so it becomes meaningless unless you reread. And I'm going to go ahead and fix this really quick. That's supposed to be the content, okay? Directions. Assuming that you have completely reread or read the story at least once, closely reread it, and as you proceed, annotate based on the literary elements and techniques listed below. Because you will need more room, you will explain your annotations on a separate sheet of paper, noting paragraph numbers as points of reference. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to divide the story into sections. The very first thing you're going to do, all right, is you are going to divide the stories into sections of at least one paragraph in length according to the action of the story, okay? 2, then you're going to summarize, okay? So 1, divide. 2, summarize each section. Yes, each section, okay? Some students are going, holy crap, Miss Arnie, that's a lot of work. I know it is. That's why you're given a couple weeks to work on this assignment. And that's why we've been dividing it out into small parts and pieces so it's manageable, okay? So this is what you're going to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Open Boat PDF, all right? We're going to go ahead and scroll down. We're going to take a look at this baby. You are going to divide this out. So first page, we're looking at, none of them knew the color of the sky. Their eyes glanced level and remained upon the waves that swept toward them. These waves were gray except for the tops, which were white, and all the men knew the colors of the sea. The line between sky and water narrowed and widened and fell and rose. And so we have a man likes to take a bath in a bigger area than this boat could provide. These waves were frightfully rapid and tall, and each boiling white top was a problem in a small boat. The cook sat in the bottom and looked with both eyes at the 6 inches of boat which separated him from the ocean. He had bared his fat arms as he worked to empty the water from the boat. Often he said, "Gosh, that was a bad one." As he remarked it, he always looked toward the east over the rough sea. Okay, I'm only going to work on the first page right now because could take all the hour for you to listen to this, and I don't want that. So what you're going to do is we're going to number each section, okay? This one is going to be 1. This one will be 2. This one will be 3, okay? On a separate sheet of paper, all right? On a separate sheet of paper, you are going to go and summarize, and I'm going to use the gray area as my separate sheet of paper so that I can keep it on the same document, but on a separate sheet of paper you can have them side by side. You're going to number them. 1. What is the whole paragraph in number 1 all about? Well, this whole thing on number 1 is going to be a description, and I'm going to go back. A description of the sea. Okay? Period. That's it. That's what it is. It's a description of the sea. Number 2 is going to be a description of the boat. Okay? 3 is going to be a description of the cook. I don't know if it's a description, but it's a, how about an introduction? Cook and his actions in the small boat. Period. That's it. Okay? You will be doing that with every paragraph. All right? And I want you to go through and I want you to give me, number them 1, 2, 3, so that you can tell me, based upon the action, what's going on. Okay? And you're going to tell me really quick, it doesn't have a period, that's going to bother me. You're going to tell me really quick, in one sentence, what each paragraph is saying. All right? Summarize it. Just give me a quick, this is what it is. Okay? I hope this helped you to get through that number 1, and that's going to be number 1, or the very first assignment, right? So actually, I had talked about this too. I had talked about this with another student as we were talking about how to organize this. You could legitimately just say 1 and then have your circled numbers. You could also organize it with letters A, B, C, okay? So instead of doing 1, 2, 3, you could do A, B, C, okay? And that way it separates out. But this is all activity number 1 on the annotation guide, and I need to be able to see that that's what it is and to keep you guys better organized, all right? Now, once you get to dialogue, let's talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and you can pause this section to give yourself a chance to write it down, and I don't care if you take it from here on the front page, but page number 2, you're on your own from there on out, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take this down because I need to go on and talk about dialogue. Of course, you can pause this section to give you guys time to write it down and then push play again. All right? That's going away. And now we have this next section. I wanted to show you dialogue really fast. On page, it looks like 3, we have some dialogue going on, okay? So I'm going to go on to page 3, and for general purposes, not because this is the actual numbering of the paragraph, you're going to have to figure that actual number out for this, but I'm going to give it, I'm going to go ahead and call it Roman numeral 2, which is not what it's going to be for you. You guys have to come up with a numbering sequence, okay? Again, don't put Roman numeral 2 down there. I just need to be able to give you the example, okay? So we have the captain hesitating in the front after the boat had climbed a great wave, said that he had seen the light at Mosquito Inlet. After a while, the cook remarked that he had seen it. The correspondent at the oars then, and he was at the oars then, and he too wished to look at the lighthouse, but his back was toward the far shore. The waves were important, and for some time he could not seize an opportunity to turn his head. But at last there came a wave more gentle than the others. When at the top of it, he hurriedly searched the western water with his eyes. "See it?" asked the captain. "No," said the correspondent slowly. "I didn't see anything." "Look again," said the captain. He pointed. "It's exactly in that direction." At the top of another wave, the correspondent did as he was told. This time his eyes found a small, still thing at the edge of the moving ocean. It was exactly like the point of a pin. It took an anxious eye to find a lighthouse so tiny. "Think we'll reach it, Captain?" "If this wind stays steady and the boat didn't sink, we can't do much else," said the captain hopefully. Then he added, "Empty here, cook." "All right, Captain." Okay, so now you have dialogue put in there. Are you going to number this tiny little dialogue 2, 3, 4, and 5? No, you're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and erase those because this all had to deal with this idea that the captain saw. Let me change the pen color so you can see it. This all had to deal with the idea that the captain saw or found the lighthouse. And so this entire paragraph, all the way to, let's see, right here, is going to be all about them finding the lighthouse and seeing it. The men locate, actually it's not even going to be the men. The men, let's say the captain. The captain locates the lighthouse and all of the men see it. Now, why wouldn't that last little tiny bit be in there? Because it's a new action. We actually have the survival of the ship here, okay? And so what you have is that you have the captain telling everybody else, or telling the cook to empty the boat, right? It would be difficult to describe the secure bond. No, that's going to now talking about the secure bond between men. So this next section is going to be talking about, this next round of dialogue right here, 2, 3, is going to be discussing them, and actually it's going to be smaller than that, because you think we'll reach it, Captain. Okay? Yeah, no, that was right. I was right. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. You're going to have this, the idea that these men, 1, 2, 3, the men hope and work to reach the lighthouse. Okay? So what you have is you have a full section of dialogue with paragraph form. You're going to have to work towards seeing if there's anything in this section that works with this section, because you have dialogue, okay? If they do, you're going to bunch them together and put them as one section so that you can explain it here. All right? I hope this makes sense. I hope it's clear. Again, dialogue. This is what they're talking about. Okay? I'm going to erase this. Okay, sorry. It's taking me a minute. Okay? This whole section is discussing this idea that they're all looking to see the lighthouse, okay, and that the captain sees it. Anyway, the whole idea is that you guys can find the action of the story, find the paragraphs that go with other paragraphs, and the ideas found within. This bottom paragraph is going to be a completely different selection. It's going to talk about the secure bond between men and a brotherhood, especially mankind who deals with issues in life, not just on the sea, but in life. Okay? Funny story really quick before I go. This morning as I was working out, I was getting ready to get on the treadmill, and I hear a group of guys walking into the gym. About 4 or 5 of them, and boy, they were amped up. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen such brotherhood in my life when it comes to this kind of stuff. That's what they go to the gym for. They go to show off, they go to teach, and they go to talk, and just being guys. And there were 4 or 5 of them that came, and they were all working out together. Blasted the radio. I put my headphones on and went to work. But these guys went to work, and while they were working, they were talking and having a lot of friendship. So that really goes along. If I were writing an essay on this whole little section, this area would be a big area of focus for me. That's just me talking about brotherhood, relationships, and survival. Okay. Anyway, I hope this makes sense. That was just a little added bonus for you. I want you guys to go through, again, I want you to go through, mark your paragraphs. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Mark your paragraphs, highlight, annotate those paragraphs by summarizing them. All you're going to do is summarize on a, I don't want you to highlight and annotate, sorry. Go back through, mark your paragraphs, and then give me a quick summary on a separate sheet of paper. Number the paragraphs, please. That gives you number 1 on your annotation guide, okay? 2, 3, 4, those are going to go a little bit faster. This is going to take some time. So I would like to see you guys number your paragraphs, and on a separate sheet of paper, in Google Docs, I don't care. I want you guys to go through and summarize each paragraph with the number or the letter that you assign to that section of paragraph. All right, a section of paragraphs and dialogue, just like I said. I hope that was clear. I could repeat it a 4th time. I want you to go through, number the paragraphs, whether it be with a number or a letter, and then on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to summarize each section. If you have a selection of dialogue, you need to make sure that the action matches up with the other paragraphs so you don't have a bunch of mini dialogues, okay? I hope that makes sense. If not, rewind it, watch how I did it again. Hopefully you understand it. If that still doesn't make sense, ask a neighbor, or you can always email me through Classroom. I do see that stuff as it pops up on my screen and on my phone. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you behave. I would like to see what you do by the end of the hour, and take a picture of it, send it to me so that I know where you are, okay? No grade will be given other than if you don't do work. I just may give you a 0 for the day. So make sure that you stay on task. Any questions, please ask me through Classroom, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.